Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. So today we are going to discuss the question from agriculture optional answer writing practice. That is, from today onwards we will be practicing a question daily that is based on agriculture optional. So let's start. And before starting, I must add one thing, that our agriculture optional test series named as Aim for Agriculture test series is going to start from 8th of June. It will consist 14 tests, that is 8 sectional and 6 full length tests. So if you want to join it, you can join. The price is rupees 999 only, with a good amount of evaluation. You will be getting a very good high quality evaluation at this price only. So if you want to join, and one more thing, the seats are limited to 20 students only, and I think many students are still joining. So if you want to join, you can join fast, because once the seats are once the seats are full, we will not able to admit you, because we have to check every copy, evaluate every copy in very high quality, and if this breaches 20 students mark, it will be difficult for us. That is why 20 student is the limit. So if you want to join, you should join fast. And for joining, you should message on the WhatsApp number 77818 33 440. 77818 33 440. So this is the WhatsApp number. So you can message in this number and join the test series. So now let's move to the answer writing. So I hope you have written the number, and if you want to do messages, this is the number. I am mentioning the number here also. 77818 33 440. Now let's start the answer. So the question for today is, analyze how crop diversification and production are dependent on nature and culture in the Indian context. So this is also a PYQ only. So we will see how we can approach this answer. So basically, in the intro part, you can highlight what actually the question is asking us, with reference to nature and with reference to culture. So what will be nature parts, or what will be the natural parts of the crop production and diversification? Okay, it could be climate, it could be soil, it could be water, it could be biodiversity. So these are all coming from the nature, that is natural parts, which are required for crop production and diversification, or you can say crop diversification and production. So this is first aspect. And second aspect, what are these cultural parts? Okay, what actually comes in culture which affects crop diversification and production? So when I am telling you this, please try to brainstorm also. Okay, you can pause the video for 4 or 5 seconds, because you are going to write mains today, or this year, or either in coming years. So please do pause and try to brainstorm what will come in the culture part. What is that aspect of culture which is affecting crop diversification and production? Do please pause and do think once. So that could be basically tradition, or tradition, because when you move to different parts of India, you will find some staple varieties. Suppose we move to Odisha, for example, I'm just giving you, suppose you move to Odisha, you will find that the rice is grown in both Rabi and Kharif times there. You will find rice to be predominant food. They eat rice in morning also, they eat rice in evening also, they have various kind of dishes of rice. Okay, so this could be one factor. Obviously, we in most of the parts of India we have rice wheat systems, so that is another factor. And if you move to another parts, there are certain kind of other traditions. Suppose certain community is permitting a cultivation of certain crops, but certain community is not permitting it. Suppose let it be tobacco. Okay, the tobacco is been not permitted, or you will not see cultivation of tobacco by Sikh people. Okay, because they do not promote it by any means. Okay, because tobacco is not good for our health. So tradition and this is how tradition can affect crop diversification and production. What could be more? Tradition is one. Secondly, food habits, we have just discussed. Food habits can be one thing. Secondly, socio-economic practices could be one thing. Certain festivals, okay, certain limitations the society we are living in can affect it. So these are the, you can say these could be the some of the uh, traditional aspects which can affect our crop diversification and production. So this is the both aspects which you can briefly see. So briefly saw in your intro. Briefly you can write this in your intro. Now let's move to the body part, or there could be other intros also. I am just giving aspect. Baki, it depends on you how you approach your answer. Now, in the first part, you can say the dependence on nature, how these are dependent on nature. So, first of all, obviously, due to huge agroclimatic diversity, India has agroclimatic diversity. We all know that we have, as per Planning Commission, we have 15 agroclimatic zones. Those are subdivided into various subzones also. So, in various regions, with the changing temperature, changing rainfall, changing soil conditions, various kind of crops are grown. For example, if you move to the foothills of Himalayan foothills, you will find that the farmers are growing barley, farmers are growing maize. Suppose you have moved to Indo-Gangetic plains. Indo-Gangetic plains, you will see the growth of wheat, rice, sugarcane, all these crops. Suppose you move to Deccan Plateau, you will see the growth of millets, cotton, pulses. So all these things have an effect. Okay, so agroclimatic diversity is one major effect. Secondly, monsoon dependency. Monsoon dependency. Look, why I am writing a lot of examples here, why I am showcasing a lot of examples here. So this is the first video of our this series, so that is why I am giving a lot of time to highlight all these things, because when you sink in for your mains, these things will help you. So now writing generic answer will not fetch you marks. If you see the answers, you will see a lot of students scoring below 250, 220, 230, 240, 210, 200. And they are, I am not saying that that content were not rich. Okay, their content was good, but they were not able to write those specific answers. The answers was very generic. They were not able to give high quality examples, high quality facts. That is why you have to now develop, if you want to score 300, around 300, you have to develop an understanding, you have to develop a kind of good amount of depth of your knowledge, so that you should avoid writing those generic points. You should add good amount of examples, good amount of facts. So that is why we are adding here only. Okay, so you all know that around over 50% of Indian farmland is rainfed only. So all these things have effect on sowing and harvesting periods, choice of crops. For example, you will also see that a lot of drought tolerant crops are being selected, and that is promoted by government also. For example, millets. Okay, so various times there is crop switching also. What is crop switching? When suppose farmer had planned suppose a crop that is paddy, but due to lack of rainfall or low rainfall, they had to now switch. So instead of paddy, they are going towards some coarse grains, such as let it be millets. So crop switching is another factor which affects. So monsoon dependency is one more factor. Next, you will see that the soil types and fertility also differ in India. In various parts of India, you will find various types of soil, and their fertility level is also different, from alluvial to black to laterite, all those soils. So, for example, when you move to black soils, that is, it is also known as regar, you can find the growth of cotton. When you move to alluvial soils, you will find the growth of rice wheat systems. When you move to laterite soils, you will these soils generally supports plantation agriculture such as coffee, spices. Okay, so this is how soil type also have effect. Okay, water resources and irrigation availability can have effect. Water resources and irrigation, so this could also act major factor. Some, if some parts have, suppose let it be Punjab, Haryana, those green revolution regions, they have huge amount of resources of irrigation, so obviously they can grow water intensive crops. But when you move to the areas such as dryland areas such as Bundelkhand, for example, so in Bundelkhand they generally, Bundelkhand, you will generally find the production of pulses, production of coarse grains. Why? Because the irrigation availability is not that much, so it also acts as a factor. So I think these are the 4 5 factors which you can write on dependence on nature. Secondly, now we will see the number two, that is how our diverse crop diversification and production is dependence on culture. So the first point which I must write here is traditional knowledge and practices. Traditional knowledge and practices. Because if some farmer, some family of farmers is doing certain kind of cropping from lot of years, it is very difficult to change that. Okay, so those traditional knowledge are incorporated among them, and they tend to get through it only. Okay, they will be growing that kind of crop, that kind of practices again and again. For example, certain mixed cropping patterns, certain intercropping patterns. For example, in some regions, especially in Bundelkhand region, you will find mixed cropping with millets plus, or you can say intercropping with millet with pulses. So this could be another thing. They generally tend to use local seeds to exploit the ecological conditions of their locality. So this can be a factor. Secondly, food habits and dietary preferences. Food habits and dietary preferences. So all people in all the regions have various dietary preferences. For example, rice can be a dominant crop in green revolution areas, rice and wheat. But while if you see some tribal communities in arid regions, millets, pulses, they all have a lot of impact. Okay, so that could be a factor here. Religious and cultural festivals have a factor, can act as a factor. Religious and cultural festivals, for example, ritual festivals. In ritual festivals you will see the use of various crops, for example turmeric, sesame, okay, sugarcane. So all these things have effect. Various religion promote certain crops, various religion do not promote certain crops, so this could be a thing. Secondly, you can also write in cultural factors that government policy and institutional support is also a big factor. Okay, although it will not directly come into cultural factor, but you can highlight government policy and institutional support. For example, there is certain kind of millet promotion scheme such as Sri Anna scheme, Sri Anna under International Year of Millets. So obviously, it will promote millets in certain regions. So this is a kind of how it is affecting, government policy is affecting. Next, socio-economic status of farmer. Socio-economic status of farmers, what kind of land holding it is. Suppose there is a small farmer or a marginal farmer, you cannot expect him to go towards a very risky crop or very resource intensive crops. Obviously it is not feasible for him, so he will go for a kind of subsistence cropping. So these things also has a effect, because the risk management ability has a effect on the land holding. If the land holding is big, obviously farmers can take a lot of risk, they can go for resource intensive crops, but this is not the case for marginal farmers. So this is another factor. So I think these are the 4 5 points you can mention in the cultural part. So this is the body of the question. I hope you understand all the aspects. Now let's move to the conclusion. How can you conclude this answer? So for me, the best conclusion would be that crop diversification and crop production, especially in India, depends on the dynamic interplay of both of these. Okay, dynamic interplay of both culture and nature. So this could be a positive way to conclude, and you can, this I have just given a framework, you can expand it, you can write at least 2 3 lines of conclusion, and that should be positive, that should be a good one. It should not be a kind of conclusion which doesn't see your vision to the examiner. Okay, so your vision should be good. Although in agriculture that is very least possible, but still you should try to write good conclusions, positive conclusions. So I think that is all for today. And in the end, I must again mention that the test series, agriculture optional test series, high quality test series is again effective, and you see the answers, the high quality answers you will be providing you this year. And so if you join the test series, obviously you will improve, because at the end of the day, practice is what it matters. So 7781833440 is the number where you can message, and after the filling of seats, we will not able to take you. So please, if you want to, do join fast. So that is all for today. I hope you like the session. If you like it, please press the like button. Please do share and please do subscribe. It takes a lot of hard work to make such videos for you on regular basis. And if you like, if you share, if you subscribe, it motivates us to make more such videos for you regularly. So that is all for today. Have a nice day. Thank you.